The night everything changed began with a knock that didn't belong to my world. It was just past midnight in a quiet neighborhood outside Columbus, Ohio. The kind of silence where even your thoughts feel loud. I had spent the evening convincing myself that life was simple now, predictable, safe. Then the door shook again, urgent, almost desperate, and somehow I already knew that whatever waited on the other side would tear that simplicity apart. Some moments don't arrive gently. They arrive like storms, and you either face them or spend the rest of your life wondering who you could have been. Before the story goes any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that life can surprise you when you least expect it, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. My name is Michael Turner, and until that night, I was just another operations analyst at a fast-growing tech firm based in downtown Columbus. I grew up in a modest Christian household, raised to work hard, stay humble, and never expect life to hand you miracles. My parents taught me that love was shown through sacrifice, not grand gestures. That belief carried me through college, through my first job, and through a quiet adulthood where ambition existed, but dreams stayed carefully folded away. I lived alone in a rented house near the Scioto River, spent weekends fixing things that didn't need fixing, and kept my heart guarded after a failed engagement years earlier. Our CEO, Katherine Reynolds, was everything I was not. She was decisive, brilliant, and intimidating in the way only truly powerful people can be. Raised in a prominent Christian family in Connecticut, she carried herself with grace and discipline, rarely letting emotions surface at work. She had taken the company from a struggling startup to a national contender in less than 5 years. Everyone admired her. Some feared her, and many assumed her life was flawless. When news spread that she was engaged to a high-profile venture capitalist named Thomas Whitaker, the office buzzed with admiration. It felt like the final confirmation that her life followed a perfect script. I worked closely with her during a brutal system overhaul that pushed our entire team to the edge. Long nights, missed holidays, constant pressure. Somewhere in those months, something shifted. Not romance in the obvious sense, but a quiet understanding. I noticed how she stayed late even when she didn't have to, how she carried the weight of every decision alone. She noticed how I never complained, how I fixed problems before they became disasters. We spoke often, but always professionally, always within lines that felt safe. I convinced myself that respect was all it was. Anything more felt impossible. Then came the week before her wedding. The office was decorated with congratulations, flowers arriving daily. Katherine seemed different, though. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. She grew quieter, more distant, as if something heavy followed her everywhere. On Friday evening, after everyone left, she stood in the doorway of my office for a long moment, saying nothing. I remember thinking she looked exhausted, almost fragile. Then she left without a word. I assumed it was stress. I was wrong. The knock at my door brought me back to the present. When I opened it, Katherine stood there in a long coat, her hair loose, eyes red as if she had been crying for hours. No assistance, no security, no elegance. Just a woman stripped of certainty, standing on my porch under a flickering light. She had canceled her wedding that evening, walked away from a future everyone else expected, and driven through the night because she didn't know where else to go. She told me she needed to say something before fear convinced her to stay silent forever. She explained, without dramatics, that the life she was about to enter felt like a well-designed prison, respectable, safe, empty. She spoke about faith, about how she prayed for clarity and kept feeling pulled toward the one place she never allowed herself to look. She spoke about watching me choose integrity when shortcuts would have been easier, about how my quiet strength unsettled her more than any grand declaration ever could. Canceling the wedding cost her investors, strained family ties, and invited public scrutiny, but staying would have cost her soul. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt terrified. The weight of her decision pressed down on me, because accepting her truth meant stepping into a life far bigger than the one I had carefully constructed. We talked for hours, not about romance, but about fear, purpose, and the strange ways God reshapes our paths when we finally listen. By dawn, something between us had shifted, not into certainty, but into honesty. The weeks that followed were not easy. News outlets speculated. The board questioned her judgment. Rumors swirled about me, some cruel, some laughable. Katherine stepped back temporarily, delegating authority while she rebuilt trust professionally and personally. I considered resigning more than once, but she insisted that integrity mattered more than appearances. We attended church separately at first, then together, sitting in the back pew, letting faith anchor us when public opinion felt overwhelming. Slowly, the storm passed. The company stabilized. Katherine returned as CEO, stronger and more grounded than before. Our relationship grew quietly, rooted in shared values rather than spectacle. There were no dramatic announcements, no rushed promises, just two people choosing honesty every day. I learned that love doesn't always arrive wrapped in comfort. Sometimes it demands courage, humility, and the willingness to lose what looks perfect to gain what is real. Before this story ends, I want to ask you something special. If this journey means something to you, comment the word faith below. Let others know they're not alone in believing that doing the right thing still matters. Today, when I look back on that midnight knock, I realize it wasn't just about love. It was about obedience to truth. Katherine didn't come to my house because she was certain of the outcome. She came because she refused to betray her conscience. And I opened the door not because I expected a miracle, but because kindness taught me to listen before judging. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that courage can change lives and that second chances are sometimes answers to prayer, please like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps keep these stories of hope alive. Sometimes all it takes to change a life is the courage to knock and the grace to open the door.